Tommy and Terrence. I want to thank you for your introduction to me, and thank you for that presentation. It was awesome. So, like Terrence just said, I am in charge of the Entrepreneurship Environment, which pretty much looks at policy that has to do with entrepreneurship and innovation. But for me, what I wanted to introduce you guys today with was entrepreneurship, the entrepreneurship environment in terms of like politics. I think that's a very important just aspect to entrepreneurship because policy and government affects what happens with entrepreneurship and innovation in the United States and globally. So, okay. So innovation in the United States, politics, policy, and research. I don't know what comes to mind when people hear like innovation in the United States, but one recent video that I found actually online pretty much spoke towards that, and I'm just going to show you guys it real quick. Let's take a look.
The belief that we belong on the cutting edge of innovation, that's an idea as old as America itself. I mean, we're a nation of tinkerers and dreamers and believers in a better tomorrow.
I was at the piano one night playing the piano, and I noticed that when I played certain chords or notes, the strings on a nearby banjo would resonate. And so I heard that and made the connection and thought maybe I can use the same principle to detect buried landmines.
I created a sensor for youth and high school football that would be able to tell you when you might have received a concussion.
A UV-like lunchbox that kills bacteria off fruits and food. A lunchbox that helps people. I never thought I could do that.
I created a program that I hope will get kids excited about programming by turning it into a game.
Specifically, what my nanoparticle does is it's an improvement on past cancer treatments. Definitely as a kid, I asked a lot of why questions, and I found that science and math usually were the answers, the coolest answers to all of my why questions.
Everybody can do science, and they do it every day, and I think it's just a matter of pursuing those questions. I mean, when you see something and you ask a question, that's science.
If you look around and find out where these kids came from and what challenges they overcame to be here and what invested energy there was in their local science teachers and the sacrifices that the parents made, what we have here is a cross-section of all of America, recognizing that there's innovation that can come from any demographic, any region of the nation, and in fact, the greatest innovations are coming from people who had to struggle just to go to school. There's a girl here whose parents were homeless at a time she learned that she had won her science fair.
Just when things were rough at home or at home, or whenever it was, I had something to look forward to, and I always was taught to not move around, to do something, and to make things better, I'd have to work for it. And I found that, something that I was passionate about and that could get me somewhere. So I used my research, my science, as a means of, doing better for myself and just focusing on something more than being homeless.
This is the kind of stuff, what these young people are doing, that's going to make a bigger difference in the life of our country over the long term than just about anything. This is what inspires me and gets me up every day. This is what we should be focusing on in our public debates. And as for all the folks who are here, don't let your robots wander off anywhere. All right?
Okay, so that was a quick look at just like what's going on, like what other entrepreneurs or what other innovators are doing just like our age. And I think that's really interesting. But also we have to look at, in terms of like politics and government, we have to look at entrepreneurship within the administration. And I think like with this new administration, the current administration, President Obama's administration, we've seen a more of a attitude that's more favorable to innovation. I think that's great for us, and I think that's something that's going to really help us to get our ideas actually like formulated. And in another video, just like off the same week from the White House, we see the presidential advisors talking about innovation and what, like more specifically, like what's going on in the current environment. So let's take a look at that real quick.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Open for Questions on the role of science, technology, and innovation in promoting global development. My name is Karen Richardson with the White House Office of Public Engagement, and with me I have Tom Khalil, who is Deputy Director for Policy at the Office of Science and Technology, Gail Smith, who is Special Assistant to the President and Senior Director for Democracy and Development at the National Security Staff, and of course we have Dr. Raj Shah, who is the Administrator over at the U.S. Agency for Development, International Development. Welcome. We will be taking your questions live on Twitter at the hashtag WHChat, and you can also watch this live on whitehouse.gov/live. So we're going to get directly into questions. And again, I will be taking questions live on Twitter as well. So the first question will be for Dr. Shah, and this question is from Samantha, who asks, why is innovation important for USAID to do now, given this budget climate in particular?
Well, thank you, Karen. The answer from our perspective is that innovations in development bring the cost down of achieving results. So when we saw today that you could use mobile phones to take photographs of an election process in Afghanistan and reduce corruption and fraud significantly, the alternative is not reducing corruption and fraud or spending a lot more money on a much more elaborate process to accomplish that same result. And what was wonderful about the event that Gail and Tom just hosted was we saw so many different examples where new science, new technology basically makes it cheaper and more possible to make the world a better place. And that's why we're launching this partnership today with a series of American universities. And you can go to usaid.gov to learn more about it, but we invite universities to partner with us more actively because we know students on campus, faculty, researchers have great ideas and great innovations that they could bring to this administration's development goals and development policy, and we'd love to work with you.
I didn't get to show everything, but this just gives you an idea of like what currently, like in terms of like politics, in terms of like the administration we currently have, what's going on in terms of innovation and what's the direction that's going in. So you just heard about the program that was just offered. It's actually the Advanced Manufacturing Partnership, AMP, that is promoting this with like different universities. So that's another and this is just one of the many. If we were able to like watch more of the video, they mentioned other programs and different things that we can get involved in to help bring the ideas that we have in the Entrepreneurship Club here and actually like really get those started and really get those going. So hopefully I will get to talk about those later, and I'm looking forward to that. Thank you.